Hello! We're live!
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We're live! As you literally just walked through the door of the pub as we were live.
You're right.
Hello, Ben Hughes. Yes, I'm good. How are you, pal?
I'm all right, mate. It's a bit flustered, I've been rushed home, but here we are.
Yeah, I might have to get some headphones, actually.
Just say, so you're on TikTok live right now as well?
I'm on TikTok live over there. Hello, TikTok. And I'm on, and we're on the other two on here. I'm going to stream the first half of it. Hello. The first half of it, we're going to be on TikTok live as well. And then the second half, we will go back to our usual, not having to keep an eye on what we say and what we do.
We should say this isn't contrived with the red and blue here, should we?
Actually, it's very good, that, isn't it? No, I am pleased though that I am pleased that this game is England versus Poland, because the only watch along we've done before this that wasn't Euros related was England versus Poland. So I already had all these graphics ready. So they're all, if anybody, yes, Rob, we're doing a watch along. So if anyone on TikTok wants to know where we are, if you go to my bio, there's a link in the bio to come and join us on the podcast. Usually we do the podcast from about 9 o'clock on a Wednesday, but obviously the football's on tonight. The idea of the podcast is I'm going to talk back to you in a sec. The idea of the podcast is it's just two blokes with beards in a pub chatting. It's just that the football's on in this pub tonight. So I'm going back to here. How is everybody?
Huxley's in the house anyway.
Yes.
So
we should have. Hectic, innit? I've been playing golf today. Oh, mate, you want to see the course that I played on today? Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, well, you showed me that little video earlier.
I sent you that little video, didn't I?
You did. So just for the sake of the podcast, let's have score predictions, even if you're not interested in football. So I'm going to go my usual right now, 10-0.
10-0, good man. Right.
Every time.
I need to. I'm clearly going to be very slow in updating the graphics like I usually am, but there we go, 0-0.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Is that your prediction?
So yes. So 0-0 tonight. So score predictions. What do we think the score's going to be? I'll hop over those. He's only got Rob Atherton's going to come over to the podcast. He's only got 20% battery.
He's already here.
Yes, there we go. Well, for some reason, my chat, the chat isn't working on mine.
3-1 to England, Huxley says, and Keith says 2-1 Poland. Keith, what is that about?
2-1 Poland. Do you know what though? This is by far our hardest qualifier in this group. Poland away. It always has been. Always was going to be.
I think we play better against better teams now. I just think that's how we're built now.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we've got anything to fear from anyone, to be honest.
Because England are too big for their boots. Well,
no,
I'm pretty sure they're all made to measure now, aren't they?
Well, we are pretty good. We've made the semi-finals of the World Cup and the finals of the Euros in consecutive tournaments. So
yeah,
you can have a go as much as you want. Them's fat.
It must be cold and snowy in the northeast. That's all I can think.
That's it. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Indy Stew over on the TikTok live feed has said, "What are your thoughts on the Argentina-Brazil situation from midweek?"
I don't know because I've been working this week away and I've barely watched any news or spoken to anybody about anything.
Do you know what? I'm delighted with that. I'm just going to try and focus this bloody camera in. The autofocus on this camera is terrible. So yeah, I'm just going to. I'll fill you in then. Basically, what happened was, oh my lord, right? Do I have to sit right up here to be in focus? Anyway, the only what happened midweek was that we're on Brazil's red list, and Brazil is on our red list. So anyone who's been in the UK within 14 days has to isolate basically when they go into Brazil.
Right.
There are 4 Argentina players from the Premier League who obviously had been in the UK less than 2 weeks ago. They neglected to mention it on entering Brazil.
Okay.
So I believe the Brazilian government they were campaigning the Brazilian government to say, look, can these guys be exempt? It's important. And the Brazilian government took ages to make a decision. And when they finally made a decision, they said, no, it's not okay. Then about 10 minutes in, I think, about 10 minutes into the game, some Brazilian health officials just came onto the pitch and pulled the players off. It's far too early, and I'm on TikTok to be making stuff like that. Oh, that wasn't part of the deal. Oh. Yeah, we haven't tested how close because I'm watching it through Sky, so I might be a couple of seconds behind.
We're pretty close. So currently Kane is on the ball and he's just passed.
Okay, it's easier to do the time though, Baz.
Oh yeah, have it.
The clock in the corner.
It's 4:33, 34.
Yeah, we're bang on, mate. Bang on.
There you go. Oh, come on. Surely my commentary was worth, Kane is on the ball and he's just passed it.
Baz, I'll take your commentary any time you want, mate. You're more than welcome to chip in with commentary at any point throughout the evening. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, if we're testing the timing of my TV versus yours, the big clock in the left corner would make more sense.
I was just thinking, it's kind of like I didn't think of that. Obviously, it was more the fact that I recognised Kane just as he was on the ball.
There you go. Yeah, so Indy Stew's given us more detail. He says that Romero and Lo Celso for Spurs were told not to travel. And they did, so they've been fined by Spurs, I presume.
Indy Stew wants to come over here.
Hey, Lucas. Yeah, so for those that don't know, we are doing we're doing our usual Wednesday night live video podcast. It's over here. If you want to know where it is, if you go to the link in my bio on TikTok, I've put the specific link there. You go there, and that's where we'll be. We're going to do the first half on TikTok and on over here, but second half will only be over here. So get over here. My chat box on here is not working. So you're in charge of chat tonight, Baz.
Oh, okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'll just drop in. So some of it is literally about the weather up north because obviously I said it's a bit grim. So apparently it's between 23 and 28 degrees from Leeds upwards.
Well, it's here in sunny Donegal. It's about 24 degrees today.
Oh, that's virtually summer, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I played a golf course on Island, which is about an hour and 15-minute drive away from here, and it is like Craggy Island. Off Father Ted. It's exactly. There's just now going on.
Right.
Grealish is very good at conning the refs, apparently, says Indy Stew, who's a ref. My view on that is that Grealish is the most fouled player in the Premier League because he's too tricky. He's too tricky for his own good.
So Rob's just piped in here. He said, I just read that the British teen wildcard Emma Raducanu is through to the US semi-finals at Flushing Meadows. So
she is. There we go. Let's put more sports in here. Yes, she is. She's literally about an hour ago. She won her quarter-final, so she's now through to the semi-final of the US Open, which is pretty cool. So 7 minutes 38 seconds into this game, still 0-0. I've got a good feeling about tonight, to be honest. Although there are no 58,000 Polish fans, no England fans. But to be fair, all the Polish fans are wearing red and white. So if there were England fans, they could hide pretty easily.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm pretty sure if you're an England player, you'd look up, you wouldn't know the difference anyway.
No, exactly. But they're.
Rob says he don't know how long he'll be around. He's still not 100%. I'll take it that's battery, or maybe it's.
No, he's not well at the minute.
Oh, bless him.
I'll fill you in off air.
So tell me about Scotland did well against Austria. I don't know this. I'm not informed about any of this.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I have no interest in Scotland, to be honest. I know that I watched Republic of Ireland. I watched their game, and they've got a new keeper who's only 19 years old, who's pretty special. He plays for. He was born in Dublin of Nigerian descent, and he is. You could tell I Wikipedia'd him last night. And he's on the books at Man City, but he's on loan at Portsmouth this season and was at Rochdale last season.
All right.
He's a cracking goalkeeper. Really good. Really good. What do they say? Like, really good hope for the future, or something like that, or whatever cliche you want to stick on it.
So our current resident Scotsman Keith has just said we won 1-0 against Austria. That is a good. I mean, in fairness for Scotland, that's a good result, right?
Scotland winning against anyone's a good result. Scotland winning against Turkmenistan is a good result.
The viewer numbers have just gone down by one.
Hey, Keith.
So I think it's going to be quite a dry match, to be honest, because obviously there's something to play for here, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I mean, going back to the Hungary game. The Hungary game was pretty cagey in the first half, but then second half we just completely bossed it and won 4-0. So.
Well, I watched
today. Bit like my golf today. I played a course that's got loads of blind shots, loads and loads of blind shots. But it's a 9-hole course. You play it twice.
Right.
So
Yeah.
obviously at the second half, I ended up in on the back nine. Back nine, I got 22 points.
Sorry. It says in the nicest way possible, Mike. I really hope he can get pumped 5-0 now.
That's it. That's fine. That's fine. Who's saying that?
Keith.
All right. Yeah. Well, do you know what I mean? It's it's not a hatred of Scottish football.
Because you are Scottish.
Well, both my parents are Scottish. Yes, so by blood, I'm more Scottish than I am English. But born and brought up in England with two older brothers who were very, very into watching English football.
In the heart of England.
Football. Yeah, I mean, I'm a member of the England Travel Club. I've been to watch them home and away many times. Well, in fact, I've only ever been to see them at Wembley once. My favourite time was when Wembley was being redeveloped and they went around the country with it.
Yeah, that was superb, wasn't
it? Seen England at about 6 or 7 different venues. But yeah, I've been abroad to a lot of England games, so I'm a massive England fan. And I just thought, I just enjoy watching Scotland lose.
Well, actually, while you're watching and while we got you on, so how many countries have you been to see England? Because you followed them around, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of tournaments, I went to. I was in Belgium in 2000 for the Euros. I was in Portugal for 2004 for the Euros. I was in Germany in 2006 for the World Cup. France in 2016 for the Euros, which was awful, by the way. Yeah, so I've had many holidays ruined by England's performances. I've not been to see any qualifiers. That's my next one. I'm going to go and to these obscure East European countries when we play them away in the qualifiers for all these tournaments. I think that's the next England trip I'm going to do.
Just need to say a quick hello to Beth's. I really can't even reach that. Lutheria. What brought you here, Beth? Because obviously we're watching football at the moment, and our female contingent would be quite low, I should imagine, for this first.
There's plenty of people who watch our podcast on a weekly basis who aren't really into football. So this is a football special. Yeah, so lots of them might not actually turn up.
Although once the match is over, we'll go back to our usual scintillating podcast style, which is I've no idea what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be football until the final whistle, and then it'll be back to just me and Baz talking nonsense over a couple of pints in our virtual pub.
Whereas this part will just be me talking nonsense because I'm really crapping with football, and Mike's the expert. So Beth joined us from a notification from YouTube. Well, welcome, Beth.
There we go. We've got a YouTube subscriber kicking in. That's good. I wish my chat function. I'm very disappointed that my chat function isn't working.
So Beth is subbed because she follows Dad Dancer on TikTok. So
hello, that'll be me then. It's not football related every week, but we are here at 9 o'clock every week. We've started a bit early tonight, obviously, because we were watching the football. But yeah, basically this podcast is just me and Baz having a few drinks in our virtual pub, chatting nonsense, and yeah, having a few drinks. And usually we have a guest. Well, sometimes we have a guest on. Tonight we are just watching the football. We'll talk it through with you. So if you've got the football on the TV and us on your mobile device, then you can watch along with us. Whoa!
Right, just quick catch on the comment. Huxley's asked thoughts on Bamford being called up. Have to ask as a Leeds fan, missed the last game, so no opinion on him yet for me.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think he's a good player. I think it was a great opportunity, even though it was a qualifier. It was a great opportunity to call up some players who are, not to put it too fine a point on it, are going to be backup players. Really,
yeah.
I think he's a great player, but unfortunately, we tend to only play one up front, and unfortunately for Bamford, that one that we have up front is one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah, but so then
his chances are going to come few and far between. Go on, Grealish. Go on,
So Beth chipped in again. She says, "My husband actually just said, how good looking are these men that you're listening to them talk soccer?" Well, thank you very much.
We could be in trouble now.
I think the word
Beth could be in trouble now. She's been hypnotised by the beards.
Rarely is the word "good" and "looking" used in the comments for our podcast.
That might be a first.
Yes, you may well.
The winter beard's on its way back here, Baz. I've started. It's officially September, so I've started now.
Blimey, yeah, but you may well have caused an Indian summer with just the beginnings of that.
Yeah, it's on its way back now. Anyway, it's a
September. Go on, hit it.
Oh, yes. That's definitely the first time someone shouted "hit it" on our podcast.
So Beth's husband has a beard too, so he's the third leg of the beard here.
Nice, yes, and we haven't got it on here at the moment, but the name of our virtual pub on this podcast is the reason it's called that is because a brace means a pair or two of something, and reedlings, the other name for a reedling is a bearded tit, which by the way is the name of a bird. All right.
I must mention that obviously Huxley's the other bearded man in here as well. Before I forget that.
Well, you can't miss beards out. They get very emotional, bearded men.
No, well, yeah, particularly, but especially if I just said there's only 3 of us in here, there's actually 4 of us.
Well, there's people. Yeah, there's people on both. There's people over there and there's people over here. Indy Stew's given us a weather report on TikTok. He says that there's thunder in Eastbourne. Confirmed. We have thunder in Eastbourne.
So if you're in the Eastbourne area, leave now.
It's like thunder in Eastbourne sounds like a really crap collection of B-sides of a prog rock band.
Oh, don't get Indy Stew started.
It is Indy Stew that says it.
So Beth says, I'm watching because I think this channel is criminally undersubscribed and underwatched. Well, do you know what? We started this off as just a bit of fun with no intention of it was just to entertain ourselves. And then a few people have come along and watched what we do. So it's not always football, as Mike said. Sometimes it's actually a lot more boring.
Basically, this podcast is just me and Baz having a few drinks on a Wednesday night. We started off doing it just on FaceTime and then had such good fun that we just said, well, why don't we invite all our friends? So that's why we did it open so that other people could join in. But yeah, I do have plans to. I do have plans to broadcast it and advertise it more widely. Now that I'm a bit more comfortable with how this works, I've been happy in our little bubble of 40 to 50 people watching, and I've been happy in this little bubble of just like a little bubble of safety and having 40 or 50 guinea pigs. But yeah, I'm feeling confident now. I'm feeling confident that we can branch out and we can start to promote it and start to advertise it.
Yeah. So anybody who is currently on here watching, if you could, I'll just say to anybody who's watching this moment, if you could share it with your friends and get them to come along, we will promise to be more entertaining on a weekly basis.
This is entertaining too. Don't know this. Baz, you might have to close. Baz, you might have to close the curtain behind you. There might be a bit. You might have to close the curtain bit. That one. You might have to close that curtain where you've got your hand in front of. Yeah, I think maybe a breach of copyright.
That can't be. Hang on. I wonder if I can just swing the. No, not be able to. I'll tell you what I do. I'll swing.
Do it. It's not big. You could stick a. There you go. Perfect.
I mean, in fairness, it's very difficult to see that. I just realised that exactly the same moment that you did.
Oh yeah, I was like, well, hold on a minute. I could see the back of Jack Grealish's head. It looked like he was outside your house.
Actually, he's here. He's the virtual version of it. Where they playing tonight in Poland?
Yeah.
I quite liked all the flashing lights and stuff outside because in our garden it gives that kind of Christmassy feel as we're into the Christmas.
Very nice. Are you one of these people that's really excited for Christmas?
I would. So strange enough, let's talk about it. I used to hate Christmas until I met Liz, and then Liz converted me into Christmas.
Sorry, just a sec, Ali. If you go to the link in my bio, there's a link there on how else you can get there.
Yeah, come and see both of us, Ali.
Yeah, come on, come over. Yeah, because at the moment you can only see me. If you want to see me and Baz, so it doesn't look as though I'm talking to myself. If you go to the link in my bio, that's how to get us on the. That's how to jump on the live podcast that we're on now.
Huxley's birthday. I sure knew this. Is on Christmas Eve too.
Oh, that must be awful.
Well, I don't know because John, you could probably confirm this. I know a lot of people who have birthdays around Christmas have a sort of separate celebration, during the summer, like which is just their birthday of their choice in sort of like I don't know June sometime.
I'd hate sharing my birthday with everybody else. My birthday is about me, right? Not everyone else. Not interested. Do you know what I mean? I don't want anybody else being festive when I'm not there on my birthday.
When is your birthday?
My birthday is in a couple of weeks. It's on the 30th of September.
Everyone write that down. I bet that doesn't fall on a Wednesday, does it?
Do you know what? It's close. It's either a Wednesday or a Thursday. Let me see.
It is on a Thursday.
It's on a Thursday. Well, we can have a celebration on it. Do you know what? We'll have a celebration and we'll make sure the podcast goes beyond midnight.
There you go.
We'll have an extended version.
That'd be easy. Let's just double up on the alcohol and see if we can sort of style it out till 12:01.
But Baz, you and I both know that after the first version of our podcast, we vowed not to go too far down the route of it being a real pub.
Well, actually, if Indie Stews is still in the comments, I remember the night that we had everyone on afterwards, and we were all drinking, and that was quite a heavy night. That was a 2:30 one.
It was, yeah. We went backstage, didn't we? Oh, do you know what? That's what we could do. We could do the normal broadcast until 10:30, and people could win the prize of coming to my birthday after party. My birthday after party. Not my after birthday party. That would be after my birthday. It was on my birthday. So
no, shouldn't it be your birthday party after party?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, next week on the podcast, Baz can't make it, so we are 90% sure that Alex, who was a guest last week, is going to be co-host for next week. So Alex is a BBC TV presenter, so she's far more professional than the two of us at this. And also, we will have a guest, and I'm not going to reveal who the guest is yet.
Oh, well, I thought we held our own quite well last week.
Yes, we did very, very well. We ended up getting interviewed, which at points, which if you haven't seen last week's, it's up on the tube. But have a watch of that because Alex, if you are from anywhere near kind of Swindon, Bristol, Somerset, those kind of areas, Alex presents the BBC regional news at 6:30 every weekday. So she was on last Wednesday. And it was brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Had a great time, and she enjoyed it so much she wants to come back when Baz can't make it next week. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So I'm going to have a new co-host next week. It's going to be me and Alex Lovell, not me and Baz.
It'll have to be just what's the singular for brace?
That's it.
That'll be called the Readling.
Just the Readling. I'll change the name of the pub for next week.
Yes. So, Kathy Stewart's in. Hello, Kathy. How are you?
Hello, Kathy Stewart. How are you? How's everybody over here?
So, just so this is a bit of a private one between us. So, Kathy finally put up a video showing her face. If anyone's seen it.
Really?
Yes.
On TikTok.
Yeah. So, and she just said she wasn't the shadowy figure that we thought she was going to be.
Right. I'm doing it now.
Yeah. So you finally get to see what Kathy looks like.
Doing it now.
And if you're on TikTok, go follow Kathy Stewart.
Kathy Stewart 1. There she is. Oh, hello.
Everyone should go and see because, like, anybody who's a regular to the podcast, Kathy made 2 poor attempts. There she is.
It's Kathy Stewart.
Finally on the podcast. So she made 2 attempts.
She made it onto the podcast at last.
She made 2 attempts to come onto the podcast. We had invited guests, and both times she had technical issues in which she just looked like a ghostly figure in a ghostly black room.
It was all a bit Blair Witch, wasn't it?
It was. So,
So
yeah, I also should mention that I'd forgotten actually that Keith is another bearded fellow.
yes.
So the quad of Readlings we are tonight.
Yeah, well, that's it. We got yeah. There's the two of us, and then yeah, there's quite a. It seems like tonight's podcast there in the chat section. There's a quite an hirsute bunch. There you go. That's, so 25 minutes in, it does seem pretty cagey. We've had chances. I do like this team, though. To be fair, I think it's a very, very strong team. So, see if I can remember it off the top of my head. So, we've got Jordan Pickford in goal, left back Luke Shaw, and we've got centre backs of Maguire and Stones. Right back, we have got Kyle Walker. And then in the middle, we have got Phillips and Rice sitting deep. And then beyond them, we have got Raheem Sterling and Mason Mount and Jack Grealish, and up front we have got Harry named everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
So Huxley says,
thankfully, as I was trying to remember the team from back to front, an attack, so the camera went from front, and I was able just to name footballers I could see.
So John has just said, what's the name for a collective of beards? If there isn't one, we should name one. So what could it be?
A badger.
A badger of beards.
Well, to be honest, mine is. I've always said that my beard, it works better when it's bigger, because my beard is part ginger, part kind of whitey black. So it's part badger, part fox. So my beard is a fadger.
Fadger, okay.
And that's not the word that you think it is, TikTok. All right, so don't cancel me on that one.
Beth's on the way now. Thanks for calling in, Beth. We'll see you on the recorded version.
There you go. And Jess is over there. Jess, what are you doing over there? Come over here.
Keith has come up.
Where we are over here. If you don't know where we are, then click the link in my bio and you'll jump over here.
Keith's collective name is a clogged plug hole of beards.
Yeah, well, do you know what? When you grow your hair this long, just at a time where you're suffering mild to medium male pattern baldness, I'll tell you what, handfuls of it every shower.
So very little of my beard falls out, and now I don't have the issue with hair anymore.
Mate, it looks so much better.
It does, yeah. I mean, I was just hanging on to it for a while.
You do look like something off Guess Who now, though.
Does
your man have glasses? Yes. Does your man have a beard? Yes. Does your man have hair? No. Is it Baz?
Oh, well, in fairness, it could be Huxley. I've met him. We all look the same now.
That's it. You're all like cloning into one, like Borg.
Jess is here. Hello, Jess. How are you? Nice to see you.
Very good, Jess. Well done.
Indy Stew is now in here too. Hello, Indy Stew. How are you?
Hello, First 2.0 over on TikTok. If you want to know where we are over here, we are where we are every Wednesday night. If you've got the link in my bio, that'll take you to my channel and you'll be able to see us live over here. And Baz is on here as well, not just me.
Huxley's just popped in. He says, I'm Bill from Guess Who with a ginger beard. He's an actual character, isn't he? Of course he is. Or it could be Farindor, who's another who actually I used to think was Bill. Unless you don't follow him, that makes no sense.
Right. I'm gonna Google Guess Who characters, because I reckon there must be one that looks like you now, Baz.
Well, so without the ginger beard, Huxley is Bill. I've been joined by Keith Derham. Hello, Keith. How are you?
Oh, hello.
I think you may have come over from the TikTok live.
And I think that's Keith in it.
Hello, Keith. Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
I think it is.
So Industry says Thunder is affecting his tech. I think it may be tequila. I've seen your tech before.
Well, do you think he was supposed to be writing tequila, but only got part way through the word and got?
Oh my God, that's genius! Tequila.
Tech was spelled with a Q.
Hang on, Industry says he has no beard, but I could have sworn you had a small beard when we met you. My beard's a bit pathetic. It's a bit of fuzz. That's Jess.
There we go. Wow. Goodness me, it's a bit early for that. We're still on TikTok over here.
Right. They can't read the comments on this side. I'm sure they can't hear me either. So
I don't think they can hear you.
I'm gonna.
You're just background noise on this one.
Perfect.
So yeah, if you are watching on TikTok, up until half time, I'm going to be on TikTok. If let's hide that. If you want to see us, if you want to see Baz, who's over here, or you want to watch beyond, beyond half time, then in 10 minutes we're turning this off, but we'll be over here. So if you click on the link in my bio, I've set it up tonight so that the link in my bio will take you straight through to this.
But yeah, please
join us.
Come and join us, because like we want to be able to be setting in a freer atmosphere rather than TikTok.
And if you want to come and say whatever you like about me, then you can do, because over here, I can't see the chat box, so you can say what you like about me over there. So
let's just have a quick word of it. So what's happened? Because obviously you could usually see it.
I can't see it. Yeah, I've just got a spinny circle.
All right, okay. Well, this just goes to add up to another one of our technical blighted podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's all good. I mean, if this was too professional, I don't think people would enjoy it as much.
Yeah, no, I agree. Germany 2-0, Kathy just reported. And I also saw earlier that Sweden, Switzerland and Northern Ireland was 0-0.
Oh, was that earlier?
Yeah.
I missed that one. I was out playing golf.
Oh, hang on. Scottish Keith has come up with the bearded lot of the crumb catchers.
Oh, now.
Well,
I don't find it's crumbs. It's more kind of it's more liquid-based items that gets in the beard than.
So I just need to answer this. So this whole setup tonight with Mike being under the England logo and me being under the red Poland logo with my red hat and Mike with his shirt on, it was not even. This is just pure luck. So I'm not supporting Poland.
We could have styled that out, mate. We could have.
No, I tried to do this earlier, trying to get the top of my hat with the logo on it, but it's too difficult.
Well, I was going to be wearing. I was all ready to have me woolly hat and me shirt like I normally do. It's too bloody hot. That's why I put the England shirt on.
So TikTok can't hear this, can they?
I don't know if they can hear you.
Sorry. Okay, but then Jess is just changing from crumb catchers to cum catchers.
There you go. I turned you down just in time. Not wrong with that if that's what you're into, but I wouldn't know.
That's tickled me. That has. I like that. I'm done.
You didn't need to tell me who said that. You could have just said one of our regulars had said that, and I would have got it nailed on the head after one guess.
That's
a terrible decision, ref. Raheem Sterling blatantly fouled on the edge of the area there, and now there's a chance for Poland. There might be a chance for Portugal, but it's not in this game.
You're not too predictable at all, Jess.
She definitely is.
So Keith says he's going to get grief from his girlfriend if Poland lose. If Poland lose, I'm assuming your girlfriend must be Polish.
Polish girlfriend.
Well, it's either that or you're allowed to support Poland if you're not Polish, surely.
Yep, and you're allowed to support whoever Scotland play if you're not Scottish. It's a bit like back in the days when I had a football club to support. I used to say I supported 92 league clubs. I supported Bury and whoever's playing Bolton. Oh, sorry, 91 league clubs. Oh. Yeah, it's getting a bit more end to end now. It's opening up this game.
Hang on, this Baz likes Polish vodka over Russian vodka. They have VAR, which is VAR, right?
Right. What, for vodka?
That's very technical. I think VAR is a Polish vodka.
All right, I was going to say.
It's very clever. Literally, if we had a whooshing sound of this, I'd just.
Definitely. We should. I need to invest in that. I don't know how I get that, but I definitely need to do that. So yeah, 10 minutes till half time. Still 0-0. A bit cagey to begin with. It's starting to open up a bit with chances at both ends. Right, I think I'm gonna say something controversial here now.
For the first time ever.
Yeah, I think England need a new manager. How's that grab you for size, eh?
Well, that's a bit strong.
No, I think we do. I think Gareth Southgate's done brilliantly in bringing a. When he took over, there was a group of individual players who didn't play as a team. Now he's pulled them all together. He's galvanized them. They're working as a team. They're playing well as a team. But frankly, I think that we got through to the semi-finals of the World Cup and the final of the Euros purely by the fact that the draw opened up in both tournaments and we didn't actually play anybody that difficult.
Who would you like to see?
I also think if we had a more attack-minded manager, i.e. not an ex-defender, we would have won against Italy. I think we were far too defensive. And I think somebody like two managers that would never do it, but you need somebody who's got more of the attributes of Pep or Klopp, who will, because in that final against Italy, they were there for the taking. And we sat back on a 1-0 lead. It went to 1-1, and then we were like, oh, God, let's get penalties. And it was completely negative and completely contrary to how we'd played the rest of the tournament.
It was awful, wasn't it?
It was the final and the Scotland game we played like that for some reason, and I don't know why.
Just some stuff about VAR that's been up here. As Jess said, I don't like VAR. What's the point of having a ref? Should be ref's word, and that's it. And so Idris agreed. So I'd say this is like, if you ever see the way that the video referee works in rugby, it's completely different. Like, the referee is on top of the match. He just asks for confirmation whether it's something he can't see, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they do it with the mic on. The mic's good because they everyone can hear what he's saying, and the touch judges are also part of that decision. So if you have it as a fourth official, I think it works well. The problem with VAR is that literally it picks out the most ridiculous decisions. Half a hair's breadth of offside.
The things I think that I think it has improved things in terms of offside. I mean, there have been some that were ridiculous, but I think it just makes it more, because it's a very difficult thing for a linesman to look along the line and see when the ball's played at the same time. You've got to be like wizards with the eyes on the side of your head. But
my thoughts on this is that, like, there is no advantage to be had by someone's left elbow being offside, when their feet are in their position. Absolutely none.
The system was never intended to be used that accurately. It's not accurate enough to be used in the way it's being used. But I think if they should have something like the umpire's call, in cricket. If it's too close to call, it goes with the on-field decision, and they should do that. I think it's been better this season because they've said, like, if a referee misses something, VAR will whisper in his ear and will go, you might want to go and have a look at that yourself on the screen.
And that's how it should be.
And it works, and it doesn't take that long. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's fine and it works. The thing that infuriates me though is the whole thing of when a ball goes forward, the linesman doesn't put his flag up until the team missed the chance, and then he puts the flag up. I was like, well, there's no point. You might as well take offside out of the hands of a linesman and make it not his job.
Exactly.
It's too hard to do in full speed. You might as well have somebody in a caravan outside the ground doing it, or at Stockley Park or wherever it is.
Yeah.
They can look at it and within 10 seconds they can get they might not get every single one right, but they'll get more right than somebody who's doing it by the naked eye and might be tired at the end, not keeping up with play, has got to look at when the ball is played and the line at the same time. So, I think it is. I think it started off. They tried to bring it in too quickly.
Yeah.
I think the goal line technology is brilliant, and it's worked on all but one occasion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the way forward. To be honest, it has to happen, because it's not just like, if you make the wrong decision, you're gonna piss off 60,000 fans or whatever. If you make the wrong decision, you can make a decision that costs a team tens of millions of pounds.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it's far too big a decision to not get right.
Go on. On that subject, I just think, this obviously the offside rule was designed to stop a team having a clear advantage from being beyond the line to when the ball was played. Like, it should be on someone's feet, not on their elbow or on their quiff or their nose, because that's no advantage. If you're leaning forward, you have no advantage over where your feet are.
Yeah, and do you know what they should do? Is this whole phase of play thing.
Yes,
When you see a player that's running back in 10 yards offside, they kick the ball out that side, and then he turns around and runs that way, and then he's all of a sudden onside. Offside should be offside.
Exactly.
When the ball goes forward, you're offside whether you like it or not, wherever you are. And it's just stop being lazy and get back into position and quicker,
It's either that or get rid of the offside rule completely, because the offside rule is a relatively new thing in terms of football, isn't it? In terms of, like the hundreds of years that it played, because there never used to be an offside rule.
Yeah, no, exactly. Andy Kay on TikTok is saying, realistically, Southgate should be given the shot for Qatar. If we fail, look for someone new, but who? I completely agree. I think it's too late to change it now. We've only got 18 months, not even that now. We've probably only got 16 months until the tournament. But I'll tell you who, Pep Guardiola, because Pep has actually said that he's doing one more year at Man City, then he's going to have a bit of time off. Then he wants an international management job. So why does that have to be Spain? Why can't that be England? We can pay more than any other international federation, and we do. So Pep Guardiola in 3 years' time or whatever, Pep can do it.
The other thing as well is it's like, does there need to be a full-time England manager? There's a good question.
No.
We spoke about it before. Why can't it be somebody who's a full-time manager somewhere else, who works with two other top managers who are full-time managers elsewhere to work as a group? So you could have a defensive manager and an attacking manager and someone who's on that sort of general round play.
See, I think something that would appeal to Pep if you said the role would be part-time. He shouldn't be there's too much conflict of interest if he was to be a club manager and an international manager at the same time. Got a corner here, but he's clearly he's taken career breaks a couple of times already.
Yeah.
Oh, Slabhead was almost on that. Out to Luke Shaw. Put it back in, son. There it goes. In it goes to nobody. But yeah, he's taken a couple of career breaks already. So it's clear that he wants a little bit of a kind of a work-life balance. And I think if you said to Pep, you said, look, we'll bring someone in as a full-time director of football who'll do all the day-to-day stuff and keep an eye on, making sure, players, looking for players who could qualify for the England squad, making sure there's a pathway between the under-20s, under-21s and the first team. And Pep just be, bring him in when there's an England camp. Do you know what I mean? And, when England aren't playing, he doesn't need to be working. He can have lots of time off, because I think that's what we're missing. We're missing a manager. Then we're missing a manager that's proven as a manager.
Yeah.
You could even give that role to Southgate. Dress it up as a promotion for Southgate. He becomes, director of director of team continuity or something like that. So he makes sure that all the players are coming through to the first team. And Pep is just the guy who, comes in a week before a training camp, trains them, manages them in the games. Because I tell you what, if Pep Guardiola had been managing us, I 100% think if Pep had been managing us against Italy, we'd have won that tournament.
Yeah. You don't watch Ted Lasso, do you?
Hello, Martin. I've just finished the first series.
How good is it?
It's incredible.
Yes. So
absolutely incredible. I'd had it recommended by so many people that we started to watch it a while back.
I've been banging on to you for ages to watch, haven't I?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
we've just finished the first series. It's phenomenal. It's a
Yeah.
brilliant show.
So my idea would be to have Ted Lasso and Roy Kent like dual managers of England.
I think that's a great idea.
So the next season, without any spoilers, is more that continue about what happens to Roy afterwards. So it's really brilliant.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to.
I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you watched it because like we'll have to do a quiz after the second series is finished, where it's just Ted Lasso.
Brilliant. We'll have one round of Alan Partridge, one round of Ted Lasso, and we'll lose every single TikTok viewer by the end of that quiz. Speaking of quiz, if you're watching on TikTok, the quiz is back again on Friday at 9 p.m. on my TikTok. It's me up against Phil C this week.
Oh, good. I love Phil C.
Phil C is back on the quiz on Friday.
The one that is feisty, the feisty Phil C.
That's it. But yeah. So Phil, I need to get in touch with him and get the subjects for each of the rounds sorted.
So, just on the subject.
We're 1 minute into 2 minutes added on at half time. I think we've done all right. It's like I say. Do you know what this is? I reckon at half time they're going to say exactly what they said at half time of the Hungary game, which is it's been a tough first half. It's been quite cagey at times. A point's good enough. Let's see what we can do in the second half. I think that's what's going to happen.
You'll get to see it. There's a part of the new Ted Lasso thing which is about pundits and about what everything that pundits say is literally along the lines of going, this is what we expect from people that play the game by a group of people that don't play the game anymore, that just wish they still played the game. So they're massively like disappointed when what they think is going to happen doesn't happen because they don't play the game anymore.
Exactly, and you can tell Roy. Do you know what? I think Roy Keane's brilliant.
Roy Kent or Roy Keane.
The one in the real world. He's I think Roy Keane. Yeah, I think Roy Keane's brilliant because he's was it half time yet or what we're doing? No. I think Roy Keane's a brilliant pundit because he speaks his mind. He can be controversial at times, but he's actually pretty good. He's mellowed a lot.
Can I just say that before you
he's actually quite willing to admit when England are playing well these days, which he never used to.
But also, he's not controversial for the sake of being controversial. He just has controversial.
He's just honest.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, that's half time. Can mute that. God, I'm so hot. It's unbelievable.
All right, bigging yourself up there. Just because someone said you were good looking.
You know what? I'm pretty sure I'm the only person on my street to be watching this game. Put it that way. For those that don't know, I live in Ireland.
We haven't had a new comment for ages.
Oh, fisticuffs, handbags at half time.
Oh, hang on. The reason we haven't had a new comments for ages is because it doesn't scroll up.
Oh, look, there's a few arms flying.
I'm so sorry, I've missed loads of comments because when you scroll down the comments on here, I didn't realise it just stops. It doesn't update. So Lacey's joined the chat. There's been loads of stuff, and I've literally been just not aware. And Keith has said the offside rule has been around since 1883, so relatively new.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it is for you, Baz. You remember it being brought in, don't you?
Hang on, I'm just going to wind one of these up.
I'm glad you can't see that on TikTok. Right, Andy K has said hostile environment doesn't help matters, but we've done well, and I agree. And that is all we've got time for on TikTok.
So come across.
If you want to follow carry on watching this, go to the link in my bio. That'll send the link to my channel. Come and join us on the podcast because I've spent the whole of this first half conscious of what I'm saying because I'm on TikTok live. If you want to see what I really think and me a little bit more relaxed, then come and join us. Click in the link in my bio. We'll see you on there. I'll speak to you soon.
So Lacey's just said she's been watching the game in the reflection in my window, which I've now given up worrying about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, well, you could shut one of your curtains.
Yeah, I kind of like this kind of ambience.
Look, the players still aren't off because he's just booked Harry Maguire and some Polish guy, and
Oh,
the two of them and both team captains have only just left the field.
So let me go back down the chat because just so you're aware that for the first time in the history of the podcast, which is what we like 13 or 14 by now.
Oh, it could be more than that.
Yeah, so basically, so Mike can't see your chat this evening, and obviously I'm crap at keeping up because Mike's the real professional here, and I'm the dog's body.
Okay,
There's a whole load of comments I've missed. So
right, Baz, you waffle for 30 seconds. I'm going to go out, come back in again, and see if the chat works.
okay, perfect. Right, so well, thanks, John, for tweeting that on the pod to an account of 4.5k. Oh, so Mike's now Poland.
No, I'm not.
So Indy Stew had a power. Can you see the comments now?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, I can't see any. I will be able to see them. I've got the chat section's working now. So
okay. So Huxley's tweeted this to an account that has 4.5k, so we might get a few people who want to come and watch
stuff.
this.
Well done. Industry, there he is. Click yellow.
So Indy Stew's comment from 2039 was Mike's Jimmy Bullard's brother. I've actually wanted to say that a few times because you are definitely the Jimmy Bullard of the podcast.
I'll take that. I'll take that because he's younger, better looking, and very much more skillful than I am. So all of those things, I'll take it. Oh yeah, Jimmy Bullard, it's just come through now. And it was, yes, Keith, it was handbags at halftime.
Yeah, so Lacey's put they're having a scuffle, are they? Actually, I misread that and I thought she was saying it in Welsh. I thought she was saying they're having a scuffle. They are.
a little cooch on the way off. I think that's what they call them.
So watch-alongs are quite interesting because obviously I wasn't watching the football for most of that. I was too busy not reading the comments and talking to you. But it's a funny thing because it'd be quite interesting if you did this when you were watching a match where you had somebody who wasn't supporting the same team as you to see what their opinion of the match was, because obviously we're both partisan. But it'd be interesting to see.
See, I find it quite difficult to. I find it difficult to multitask in anything, but I find it really difficult to watch enough of the match while still, I feel responsible for chatting to people because that's kind of why we're here.
I'm assuming that we've all watched that the fan zone where you get like two opposing fans sat next to each other on a couch watching the game.
Yeah, that's brilliant. But
it's superb. I love it.
It's great. I mean, they haven't done that for years. Like, I mean, that was one of the early kind of Sky Sports things. But
such a great thing, though, wasn't it?
It was brilliant, and you know what? It was good because they had no responsibility to do what we're doing. It's like talk directly to the audience. It was just two people, just pure like two lads. It's pure two lads in a pub supporting opposite teams, bantering each other. It was very good.
Well, I loved it because obviously they were filmed just watching the TV in front of one TV in front of the pair of them.
Yes.
And it's so funny, isn't it? Because it's that classic thing of where you and I would agree that someone got fouled or there was a handball, whereas even if it's clearly with a VAR or it's been shown 20 times, there's always that thing where the other person's going, "No, that clearly wasn't a handball," when it clearly was a handball.
No, exactly.
Indy Stew's actually got it spot on. I think it's been a very even contest.
It has.
But which I find strange because I'd say we are a better team of players, and just reiterates what you said about tactics. So I think if you are the better team, you should play to your strengths, and if you're not, you're playing against the team and trying to sort of use tactics to nullify what could happen.
Yeah, look, this is like I said before. This is going to be the toughest game. This is by far the toughest game that we've got, and it's by far the toughest game we're going to have. In the group. Poland away is always going to be difficult. They are a good side. They've got some quality players. It's not just Lewandowski. Like Glick is a good player. And do you know what? So they have got some good players. We've got the best team on paper, but they've got 58,000 fans. We've got none. We're away from home, and they are a decent side. So
we haven't mentioned that obviously Roy Keane is one of the beards, so there he is.
There you go. There's another one, Roy Keane. Roy Keane's quite a splendid beard.
Yeah,
he grows it and then he seems to get really annoyed with it. And then shaves it off, which is what I do, but I tend to do it seasonally. I keep it for a good long season. Whereas, Roy Keane just kind of tends to get bored of it, and then he'll just turn up on TV clean shaven and scare the bejesus out of me because it's just a oh, look at this analysis.
Oh yeah.
That was a bad header.
My favourite bearded ex-football player will always be Eric Cantona.
You've just asked and answered your own question there. I love it. Mads, what's your favourite bearded ex-footballer? Right, a nice one. No, it's interesting you should say that. Mine's Eric Cantona.
I think he's one of my favourite ex-players of all time. Anyway.
Yeah, he's just like one of my favourite humans because he's he's mad as a box of frogs. No culture, no national reference intended.
I don't know who this woman on the TV is.
She is called Emma. I forget her surname. She's manager of Chelsea Ladies.
Oh, is she brilliant? This always comes up. Have you ever seen the old sketches that Paul Whitehouse used to do? Because when he used to do a thing, like he was being interviewed by one of the first female pundits or interviewers, and he's like, "Do you know what I mean? He's like, where's the man? Where's the man? But where's the man?"
Yeah, there you go. No, but I mean, do you know what? I think it's. I think women's football. I mean, women's football needs to come. I mean, it's on its way to becoming like an entertaining sport. Do you know what I mean? It's way ahead of where it was.
Emma Hayes, thanks to it.
Emma Hayes, yeah. It's way ahead of where it was 5 years ago, and hopefully it'll progress as much in the next 5 or 10 years. Because even as recently as 5 years ago, it wasn't very good. And this isn't a sexist thing.
No, not at all.
The sport itself it wasn't that good. The quality wasn't that good, and if they're honest. People who watch women's football and people who play and people who manage women's football will say the same. It's only been a professional sport, I think, probably like a decade or so.
Yeah.
And you can see the improvements coming on. And I tell you what, talking about women's sport, what a brilliant week! I've been watching the Solheim Cup all weekend. What an amazing tournament that was! Absolutely brilliant, really, really good. And I was watching that when they had. The Tour Championship was on at the same time, which was a men's individual tournament where the prize was $15 million. And I watched the Solheim Cup and missed all of the Tour Challenge. I just thought it was brilliant, really, really good. It was really good. There's a girl from Cavan, which is.
Is she the 14-year-old?
No, she's called Leonie Mcguire. She's from Cavan, which is a couple of counties away from us, and she was phenomenal. It was her Solheim Cup debut, and she got 4.5 points out of 5.
Yeah,
which has just got me really excited for. Which has got me really excited for the Ryder Cup. I love the Ryder Cup.
Same, I absolutely adore it. Yeah.
Absolutely love the Ryder Cup, even though I don't class myself as European at all.
Yeah,
that's not a clue to how I voted in the the opposite of how I voted. But no, I mean I've never felt like European like a group of people as European. I don't even feel British, to be honest. I feel English rather than British.
Well, do you feel human? That's the first one.
Well, it depends what time of the day it is and what day it is. Often no. But no, I get caught up in it so much. I've become fiercely European for
the Ryder Cup.
3 days.
Yeah.
4 days. I think it's brilliant, and I just love the fact that the USA technique again. It's coming back to what we were saying before about England before Southgate.
Yeah.
USA is the same. USA's Ryder Cup team have got more of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But they're not the best team.
No.
Because the European team love each other. They're all mates. They work for each other. They pull for each other, and they're just really kind of. It's amazing. It's really good.
It's funny, isn't it? I think there's like even amongst the Europeans, there's more sort of lad culture in terms of let's cheer each other up. Where I think the American team to me always just seems like a big group of millionaires who literally don't like each other because they're up against each other week in, week out.
And it's really interesting as well that like the team that is one nation seems to be less unified than the team that is a disparate bunch of nations. I mean, they compete under the flag of the EU, but they're not.
For me personally, I think because golf's very much a sort of like a secular, singular sport. It's usually about the one person. A lot of the American seem to be those kind of prodigies that started playing golf. There's very few late comers or golf club pros in the American game. Whereas there's still quite a lot of golf club pros who come to the professional ranks in golf in Europe and England.
I just love it. I just love it, and I just think, like I said, I just think it's. I mean, I went to the Ryder Cup at the K Club when I was at the K Club in Ireland. I forget what year that was, early 2000s, and it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and just the camaraderie they've got. That team, and I think it started there, to be honest, because I don't know if you remember that one, but there was it was the one where it was the first tournament Darren Clarke played
after his wife died. Yeah, I remember it very, very well. Yeah,
and that moment on the 16th green where he finished his match, burst into tears, and the whole team. I was literally there. I was like 20 yards away because I'd been sat by the 16th green the whole day.
Yeah,
and it was amazing. What a moment to be there. Oh, I'm going to go through the scores here because we ended up on golf there. Oh, I was going to. Right. So let's get an update of the halftime scores. I'll have to do it on my phone because. Right. So halftime scores. We've got Albania 1, San Marino 0. That's the one we were all waiting for.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think they. I'm going to have to refresh. Okay, they've started again. Right, so Belarus 0, Belgium 1, Greece 0, Sweden 0, Hungary 2, Andorra 0, Iceland 0, Germany 2, Italy 4, Lithuania 0, Kosovo 0, Spain 1. So there's no real surprises. North Macedonia 0, Romania 0, Northern Ireland 0, Switzerland 0, which is good stuff.
Yeah.
Although I think, so Switzerland are obviously favourites for that. So that's good work from Northern Ireland. Poland 0, England 0, obviously. And Wales 0, Estonia 0.
So Industry made a really good point earlier saying that Emma Hayes could do a good job in the Premier League. So how long do we feel that it's going to be before there's a woman manager in the in top flight football, like in any of the 4 leagues?
In any of 4 leagues, I reckon within 3 or 4 years you'll get one in League 1 or League 2.
It's going to be a tough job for the first woman that goes into football management, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, there's women breaking through in lots of things. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that there was a female referee. I forget what game it was. There was a female referee in one of the World Cup qualifiers the other day.
Yeah. Oh no, not referees, but managers.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying it's women breaking through. So obviously you've had like Sean Massey and a couple of others who've been like lines or assistant referees.
Yeah. She's the most famous one, isn't she?
Yeah, and then you've got, referees won't be long. I think, to be honest, I just think again because women's football is a relatively new sport, and I don't mean I mean as a viable professional sport, it's relatively new. So I think it will take time. But honestly, I think within the next 5 years, I think there'll be a female manager in in maybe League One, League Two. I think it's going to be a good. Realistically, I think it'll take at least 10 years for a Premier League team. It's just, I mean, take the whole gender thing out of it. It's a massive risk.
Yeah. Well,
it's a massive risk, and like we were saying before, there's huge financial repercussions of getting such a big risk wrong.
Yeah, and also as well, it's like, perceptually the game is still very much a man's game. So you can imagine that all of any news story about a failed female manager because she's a woman, they don't understand football. That would be But also,
I mean, that's the same with anything. I mean, there's not many black managers, and it's kind of like, there's a lot of pressure on black managers as well because because there aren't many of them, and if one fails, it's kind of like, there's that kind of awkward kind of just everyone's desperate for a black manager to be phenomenally successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Andy Hughes, obviously, he's quite versed on football. He was saying that he thinks that the first professional will come in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, well, let's. And I think so because there's already there are, on the continent there are already a couple of female referees. So like I said, I know I brought it back to referees, but that's kind of an easier one to. It's an easier kind of less risk, and like I say, for a Premier League team, it's just it's not just because it's a woman. It's not that. It's Premier League teams can't afford to go with unproven.
You know this. What? So was Mourinho a professional footballer?
No.
Yeah. So to be fair, he's the case in point, isn't he? So you've got a man doing a manager's job that never actually played the game. So the case in point is being you don't necessarily even have to have a football background to be a football manager, do you?
No, you don't. But he's proven himself at kind of lower. At the lower,
So my point is,
lower profile roles before. He's proven himself at lower profile roles. Do you know that Jose Mourinho was Bobby Robson's interpreter at Barcelona?
I didn't know that at all. No.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting point, though, is the fact that, we talk about ex-pros being, managers going on to that, and let's face it, the highest percentage of managers are ex-players, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's I mean, you don't need to. You don't need to be. I mean, Alex Ferguson was a professional footballer, but he wasn't a great one.
No.
And there are some, Bobby Robson was a footballer and he was an all right footballer. But do you know what I mean? You need to have played. I think you need to have played the game at some stage. Otherwise, you've got to have started in lower profile roles and proven yourself and have a track record then to be able to go at it with.
Yeah, that's coming at it from a point of view where results count. But surely there's a case in point where just being a good manager of people and a team doesn't mean you necessarily played before. Maybe sometimes it's a bit of it's a bit of the wrong method to take, where people are trying to put their viewpoint on having played the game and then trying to put it into a team, rather than somebody who just maybe has studied the game. Because I've never played the game at all, but I can read a game fairly well. I understand the terminology, and I'm just someone who sits at home and watches TV. And we can all preempt pundits when we watch a game, can't we? How many times have you said something that a pundit or a commentator says it after you've said it?
Yeah, no, exactly. But I think there's, I think with football managers, I think with management of anything, management and leadership of anything, people who have proven themselves in the role that they're trying to lead have more respect, or are given more respect. It's like, if I'm, 7 years ago, I was a manager in a corporate job.
Yeah.
if I'd never done the job, that I was leading a team of people, but I'd never done the job, but I was leading a team of people, then they've immediately got less respect for me than if I'd proven I'd worked my way up through the job that they're in. If I'd had the job they're in and got promoted 4 times and then became their manager, which is what I was, then they've got more respect because I know more about what I've done, the role that they've done, and I know more about it than they do. Or do you know what I mean? Or I've got the huge amount of experience. So it is definitely easier. But like I say, you don't have to have you don't have to have a huge amount of experience to be a manager at a certain level. It's just the less experience you have, the lower down you've got to go to prove yourself to be able to make your way up.
I guess as well, because a lot of what goes on in football is from a reported level as well, and what's written in the press, fans and stuff like that. Is that the first time that you had someone with no experience losing a game, the main reason would be because they have no experience about how to play the game.
100%. I mean, if you bring a new manager in, even I'll go back to Berry. Berry brought in a manager. Well, Berry did. Berry brought in a manager who had played the game, had played for Berry, but had never managed before.
Yeah.
And he was manager for 12 games, and we lost all 12 of them.
Yeah.
And as soon as he loses a game, it's like, oh, it's because he's never done it before.
Yeah, of course.
And then that undermines everything straight away.
Yeah.
And he's got a hard job to turn it around again. And that's the same thing. So a female manager would have that 10 times, tenfold, because it would be no one's ever done it before. And as soon as you lose a game, the team, the fans, the press would all be, see, we knew it wouldn't work.
Yeah, but then I suppose what the difference is if you've got like a woman manager like Emma Hayes, and someone mentioned Rachel Yankee, they've had experience in sort of top flight women's games. So I suppose the level it would just come down to that thing of like, people saying, oh, well, obviously it's very different. Like you said earlier, the women's game is very different. So
it is, and in terms of development, like it or not, the women's game is decades behind the men's game.
Yeah, no, it would. Yeah,
so it's one of them, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I can't wait to see a female professional football manager. I can't wait to see it. I think it'd be brilliant. I think it'd be really progressive and it'd be brilliant. But if you're the CEO or whatever of a football club, it's a big call to do it.
Yeah.
You'd be doing it as much for the progression of women in the game, as you are for your selfishness of, I need a bloody good manager, otherwise we'll get relegated. At the moment, they're just, like I say, women's football is light years ahead of where it was 5 years ago. But it's still, in terms of the players are still, in terms of tactics, in terms of ability, they are still not where you'd want them to be. And that's why, people say like, the crowds aren't as big as the men's game. And that's just because you watch the game and it's entertaining to watch, which I'll be honest, I wouldn't have said 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It is entertaining to watch, but it's kind of, but it's not as entertaining to watch. And that's because, the men's game has been a professional sport for over a century. Do you know what I mean? And catch up.
And I'm guessing as well, the only way you're going to change that is to convert the fans of like men's football, for want of a better term, to go and watch the female game as well. Because obviously, once it becomes a game that you can watch both sexes play and it's equally as entertaining, you're always going to get the vast majority of people that watch men's football saying it's not as good as.
Yeah.
But then you also, there's quite a lot of men football fans that watch their local side, who would be, say, Bedford FC, for weekend because that's the local side, and still go and cheer them on. Yeah. They're arguably get actually pummeled by like the Chelsea professional side, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's.
Mate, I currently support a team in the 10th level of English football. So
exactly, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I just think look, I think it's brilliant. I think the fact that they're live on Sky now is brilliant, and I think that will do. That'll do the women's game the power of good. They should stop. So Indus Stew said that Lewis FC are proud of paying their teams the same, which is a cool thing. It is a cool thing, but yeah, it is a smokescreen because Lewis FC women's team are higher up in the ladies' rankings and so on. So, but when the US women's team, when the US team are saying they deserve equal pay and stuff, and look, I mean, this isn't a sexist comment, by the way, but
no.
Female footballers do not deserve the same pay as male footballers at the moment because they don't bring as much money in. They don't. It's not watched by as many people. There's not as many tickets sold. There's not many. The TV deal's worth nowhere near as much, and so on. Do you know what I mean? The value of the men's game is massive, and the players get a cut of a massive amount of money. The women in the women's game will probably get a cut of the same thing, and as that develops, that number will get bigger, and there will be less of a disparity. But
you might be really good point as well, because obviously in America, the women's soccer in America is very much viewed as a women's game, isn't it?
I think it was. I think it's because the women's team were much more successful than the men's team, but.
I think even at school, isn't it? It's very much sort of more of a
I think it's changing now. I think there's a lot more. My mate's a coach in San Jose. Just saying that England have had 61% possession in the second half, which is amazing away from home. My mate's a soccer coach and I use that word.
No, I understand why.
But deliberately.
It's a different game in America, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. He's in San Jose, and he says that the popularity of it now because people are watching on, people in the States even are watching, Ronaldo, Messi. They're watching the Premier League. Here we go. Go on, Raheem. Oh man, that should have been dropped back to Mason Mount. But yeah, it is becoming the men's game is becoming much more popular in the States.
Yeah, but it is. I know we've dwelt a long time on female football, but I think the fact that in the men's game on TV, you always have a female professional player there now. Alex. Yeah. Is it Alex Scott?
Scott.
Yeah, she's always on every TV program. But I think it's quite important because it's elevating what the TV companies and people think. And I know there's probably a small part of that was just trying to bring more female viewers into the game.
And that's the thing. Like I say, the skill level of women's football, as like you say, is light years ahead of where it was 5 years ago. But there is still work to be done on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it is still in its infancy.
Yeah.
But female pundits, women have been watching football as long as men have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be able to know tactically what works and things like that, even if you can't produce as quality a product as the men's game, there's I mean, like I said, like Alex got I think Alex Scott and the other female pundits have I think they're being kind of it's like positive discrimination. I think they started to be put in there because they needed a woman on, but then I think they've kind of they've definitely got kind of the respect of their male peers now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure they did when they first started.
Yeah, sure. Well, it goes back to the thing, doesn't it? Like, oh, where's the man? Where's the man? Which is the old-fashioned way of thinking, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what? There's going to be some shit female pundits, and I'm not going to name any names, but I can think of one or two.
Yeah.
But I can reel out a list of 10 shit male pundits. Do you know what I mean? So
Andy Townsend.
Yeah, but you're going to get. You know what I mean? You're going to get that. You're going to get that, and it's kind of. You find yourself almost stopping criticizing somebody because she's female.
Yeah.
You don't want to be seen to be criticizing a female pundit.
Yeah,
I'm not criticising her because she's female. I'm criticising her because she's shit at the
shit,
job.
yeah.
I'll
That's
quite
right. Yeah.
happily reel off a list of shit pundits. Do you know what I mean?
I just wanted to look into the comments for a minute, because obviously Stu's put loads of information about where he's refereed and the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. But Keith's put up here, that's what a 50-year ban on playing in proper stadiums will get you, though. I don't know what that means. So yeah, you need to. Can you bring some context there, because I don't understand what that means. It sounds like it's quite a thing. This is what I love about our podcast. Is for me, it's like every time I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm learning all these things on here.
There you go. There you go. But no. Honestly, I think it has been. Women's football has been massively underfunded, massively undervalued, and massively, just it's been neglected for years.
Yeah.
And that's why the product hasn't been great. And if the product hasn't been great, it's a difficult argument to say we need to put a load of money into this because the product's not great. So I mean, it's only recent. I think there's only been 2 years ago. I think it's only 2 years ago that Man United got a women's team.
Sorry, can you?
2 years ago, and that's because there's no benefit from Manchester United right up until about 2 or 3 years ago. They didn't see a benefit of having a women's team.
Can you put Huxley's comment on the ticker board, because it just made me laugh. Who's that commentator? That's me.
What's happened to the commentator who said Kane's got the ball, he passed it,
and then you went, what time is the clock saying?
So yeah, Indy Stew says gender equality is the biggest societal issue. It is, but we're not talking about that.
I think more importantly,
it is, but it's oof. But yeah, in this example, like I say, we're talking about stuff that if you try and force gender equality in sport, it can be detrimental.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
because if they try to just if they try to pay women the same as men, or they try to put as much, if they try to schedule as many TV hours of women's football as men's football, it'd kill women's football.
Yeah, of course.
You just got to. It's like I say, it's miles ahead of where it was 5 years ago, and it's going to take another 5 to 10 years for it to get to be viable and get decent crowds and things like that. But it's getting there. It's moving in the right direction.
Here's a question with it, Mike, because I think I know what you're going to say. So changing the sport and going to tennis. At one point, women tennis players didn't get as much money for getting into the final as the men, and yet you could easily prove the case that the same number of people watch those finals at Wimbledon and Flushing Meadows as the men's final, because they're usually completely packed out. So,
and that's why they do now.
Yeah, but there was a time where they didn't, just purely because that was a female pay gap thing, wasn't it? Whereas obviously. Yeah, which I never understood, and I get what you say about football, and it's completely the right thing you're saying, is that if you don't have the same crowds, but in certain sports, like women are getting exactly the same crowd, as they are, and the same interest on television rights and stuff. So obviously that's caught up now, but there was a long time where, like, the finalists of Wimbledon, the women's final, the women didn't get the same pay as the men.
Yeah, exactly, and there was no reason, no justification, and they changed it.
Yeah, which like you say,
but like I said, paying female footballers, it wouldn't make any sense. That's like saying people who get to the final of bowls should get the same.
Oh no, sorry,
it's not an apples to apples comparison.
Yes, no. The point I was making was just actually proving the point you said earlier about the crowd numbers. So at some point in time in the future, when the crowd numbers get to a point where it is worth putting on TV and it's worth, and you're selling out to packed stadiums, that'll be then when you've got a justification for the sort of same money. Because let's face it, like professional players in Wimbledon or MK Dons don't get the same money as Premier League players, because they're not demanding this. They don't have the same crowd, do they?
Do you know what I reckon? I reckon, and I obviously don't know this, but I would suggest that as a percentage of the total income of the sport, I would suggest that women get paid more than men.
Mm.
And rightly so, because they're trying to push that and they're trying to drive, and that's the way you get better. That's the way you get more girls interested in football, is for them to show them that it's a viable, it's a viable way of making a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
So you have to over-egg the pudding a little bit to be able to do that. And the more people sitting, the more girls sat at home, see Alex Scott on Match of the Day and see, names they recognise and see Emma Hayes like doing this. And the more that girls see that, the more they'll be inspired to do it. And that's why they'll get more into football and so on and so on. And again, that's something that's changed massively in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah. I feel we should have had Indy Stewart as a guest, to be fair, because he's given up some really good valid points on here about the fact that, like with kids, a lot of, not necessarily the comment he's made there, but there are a lot more differing gender football teams now. So you'll, particularly at kids level, you have girls and boys playing in the same teams against each other.
Yeah,
so
well, my experience of that is the age levels that my son's been at, and there are girls and boys levels teams.
Yeah.
So girls and boys teams, and there are girls teams and Bury AFC, the new team. They've started up a women's football team. They started up girls football teams, and they started everything. And it's and they're, you look at the fixtures on their website. It's not women's team, men's team. It's like all the fixtures are there, and it says like competition is Northwest Counties Football League, or it's Women's Academy League, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's certainly starting to change. But I've taken Shay to play for his under-10s football team, and there's been a girl in the other team. That's not because there's no girls tems in my experience. That's just because that girl's so phenomenally good. She's as good as all the boys, so she gets to play in the boys team.
It's I suppose an interesting point would be, but say you had Chelsea women's playing against, I don't know, Bedford Town men's team.
Yeah.
I think you'd find what would happen with that would be that the men's team would probably get quite aggressive to and try to be more physically bullying rather than playing the game.
I think they'd be intimidated, but I think at the moment, a team in the team in the conference would comfortably be a women's Premier League team.
Oh no, but I'll go back way. I'll go way down.
But they would get aggressive.
Yeah.
They get aggressive through a perceived threat on their masculinity. More than anything else.
It'd be interesting to see if that ever happened, because obviously then refereeing comes into it a lot more, doesn't it? About keeping it as a game rather than the non-contact sports.
It does happen behind closed doors. I mean, you see that women's teams in friendlies, pre-season will play. So you'll get a women's professional team will play like the under-17s or the under-19s of a professional team.
Yeah. Well, I guess it will never happen even at the highest level, just purely because, physicality is one thing, isn't it? That can definitely, in sport particularly, can win a game.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Indy Hughes just said he once refereed a Brighton under-16 girls team versus an under-15s team, boys team, and the girls won 2-1. And that's a good sign, because the women's game is progressing really well. You've only got to listen to it after the first week of fixtures on the Women's Super League. Then they've all the female pundits were saying that.
Yeah,
it's great and it's brilliant for the sport and it's great that it's getting exposure. And those are the things that need to happen now.
Yeah.
For the quality of the product to improve, for the money in the game to improve, and all of those things to kind of mix in together for women's football in the UK to be a better product. And let's have it right. Football is an.
Come on.
I know it's shocking. That's never a foul.
Shocking.
But do you know what? Football's an entertainment industry now, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for women to get more people watching them in stadiums and more people watching them on TV, they've got to the product has got to improve, which it is doing massively.
I'm just going to say this because we've got it on our own podcast. It doesn't matter about language. What a cunt that bloke was.
Oh, there we go.
No, we can say it on here. It's fine. But the point
Channeling
is,
your,
no. But
channeling your, you're channeling your inner Clara Batten there.
when you see somebody who's been outpaced to get the ball, and all he does is just literally throw himself against the stronger player, and then
Mate,
take a
it's been
tumble.
happening. That's been happening for 15 years.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't make it right, does it? So
No, absolutely not. I hate it, but it doesn't surprise me anymore, which is sad.
I'd like to see the standard refereeing change. And let's bring in issue on this in situations like that, because I think a lot of these calls that referees make are because referees are judged on their games, aren't they?
Do you know what I think the problem is? I think the problem is that football is now a non-contact sport because
Yeah.
how many times have you seen someone a replay slowed down to 1/10 of the speed, and
Yeah.
you go like, he's going that way, and and you go, is it a foul? Oh, there is contact.
Oh, no. So
When has contact meant a foul?
this is always my hate.
I don't know when that crept. I don't even think it's written into the laws of the game, but I don't know when that crept into the game.
Yeah.
Contact is a foul. So are we saying that football is a non-contact sport? Because you
Well,
look at it, they'll show you a replay at half time or something, and they'll say, right, well, let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that penalty. Was that a penalty? All you can see is foot touches his leg. There was contact, therefore it's a foul. It's like, no, it's not.
This is my pet hate in all pundits, and I've said this to you before. When the pundit says, "Oh, he had every right to go down there," what the fuck does that mean? Because it's like, what you're saying is, "Oh yeah, there was the slightest of contact, which meant he had every right to go down."
Which is why that now is a foul.
Yeah.
Industry is saying the bigger clubs should open up their bigger stadiums and charge discounted entry. They are starting to do that. Tottenham's ladies team are using that massive stadium in the next few weeks, so they are starting to do that. But the trouble with that is, I do agree, but you've got to weigh up the difference between sticking Man United ladies in Old Trafford and having 4,500 fans in a 76,000 stadium versus them playing at Lee Sports Village and having 4,500 fans in a 6,000 stadium. It's a much better atmosphere, much better. So I do get it, but as a fan of a team that was very kind of, do you know what? It's just listening to your team echoing around an empty stadium.
I just think as well that what you're trying to make is if it's discounted, like the general nature of people just go, well, no, it's cheap, so we haven't wasted any money. Because I've been to see MK. Yes, a cracking goal. Fuck me, that was a great goal. I've been to see MK Dons a few times, and the level of football there is pretty poor. But because the tickets are only like 18 quid, you'll get to see football played for a much much discounted version of it.
Well, do you know what? I remember Bury playing against Southend.
Can we watch this slow motion? Hang on. He smashed that from a long way out.
Lovely stuff. I'll tell you what, that makes up for. Oh,
that goes all over the place. Look at it.
Well, does Szczesny see that late, or is he
out of position? No, look at the ball. Watch the ball. The ball goes straight and then it bends here.
No, I know, but it always has done.
Yeah, it's gone the other way.
Szczesny either sees that late or is out of position. He should be.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of time to watch that. Anyway, brilliant. But no, I mean, there is a certain ceiling to that, though. We're talking about cheap tickets. I remember watching Bury against Southend, where tickets were free.
Yeah.
Right, and that was in League One, and we had 8,500 there.
Yeah.
We had a 12,000 capacity. We usually got about 3,500. The tickets were free, and there was 8,500 there. So we didn't fill the ground when it was free. So it's just dropping the ticket prices isn't always the way to increase crowd. It's just a way of decreasing your income, to be honest.
Yeah. So I think if you watch that when they replay afterwards, Szczesny sets his feet off sets his body for the original position where the ball was going at him straight, and then halfway through his flight, it literally veers off to the right. I don't understand how players, because like usually when you bend a ball, you put your foot around the outside, it goes to the left. You put your foot on the right side, it goes right. Yes, because you put the spin on it. He put his side foot that through the centre, and halfway through the flight it changes. So it's that sort of laces, isn't it? It's that kind of weird thing that Ronaldo started doing.
Yeah, well, it's like the knuckleball that Ronaldo does and can do.
I don't know how he can get a ball to dip.
It's witchcraft.
From toe punting.
Oh, hold on. So what am I thinking? Hold on a minute. There's us chatting away. There we go.
Oh yes, sorry. We got so carried away with the politics of football. Yeah. Oh, hang on, what's going on over here? Someone's decided that they've been shot. He got shot from the top of the stadium.
Well, he's off the pitch. If he's off the pitch, play on.
Yeah, exactly. Kane's injured. He's on the pitch.
No, but if Kane stands up, you can say, "Well, get on with the game," because he's off the pitch. You could treat him off the pitch anyway. The
Hey, watch this. Oh, come on! They're both literally tiny little 6-year-old girls.
Let's see this.
What? There's literally nothing there.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
What they should do.
Play on now.
What they should do is play this on the big screen in front of both those players and get them to both watch it and go, "So what happened? Explain to me." Because like literally, there's nothing in there for both of them. And this is why lots of people get turned off about the men's game because of stuff like that.
No, to be fair, there is something wrong with Glick there. I don't know if he's taking a smack right on the kneecap or something.
I don't care. He's a footballer. He gets paid thousands of pounds. Get on with it.
No, but look, he's off the pitch, so he's not going to hold the game up. He's not going to be lying there covering his face because the game will carry on now.
Yeah. And he's been attended, so you know. Anyway,
so, there's obviously something up with him, but
I don't care. What's the old fact? Let him die.
Look at he's got a mask on. Nobody else in the ground's got a mask on.
Yeah, he's probably only got one jab.
Or maybe he's got COVID.
Oh God!
He doesn't want to give it to anyone.
I haven't even thought about that tonight. We've been watching this massive crowd of people.
Oh, he's all right.
He looks like he's had too many pies anyway.
No, he's on a yellow card anyway. He's riled up now. How can you let him on there? How can you let him on there? He's let him on the pitch just as the pass went to him. That's bad refereeing, that, in this Stu. You've got to wait for the ball to be miles away before you bring a player on.
Also,
industry will tell you that.
England have only got to score 9 more goals for my prediction to be correct now.
Yeah, there you go. I predicted 2-1 with Shea.
How is that a moment to put on on the VT?
On the replay. Here we go. Come on, boys.
Foul.
Yeah, I agree.
In fairness, a player like Sterling, because he's a fast runner, when he gets contact, he does go down because because he moves so quickly.
Yeah, but like you say, when you said like that thing you were saying before was like he's within his rights to go down there. It's because
that is a foul.
See, that was a foul.
Yeah.
That's foul, but he probably could have stayed on his feet. If he'd have stayed on his feet, the referee wouldn't have given it because he wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, but I wonder though. That's what I'm saying about the point about that he runs at pace. But the thing is, like a lesser contact's going to bring him down because he's so because he is moving quicker.
Yeah.
It's when you get that situation where they're both like there now. He puts a boot in and then.
Oh, Grealish.
Get the ball in quickly. Get it in quickly.
Get it in the box.
Shoot!
It's it! Yes! No!
This is why when you watch football at a ground,
this is what all watch-alongs should be. No chat, just yes, no. Oh, rubbish.
But we've all watched football at grounds when you've had 7 pints before the second half, and literally every single decision after that elicits this. No, yeah, a foul. It starts becoming a language anymore.
Do you know what we should do next time we do a watch along? We'll get Indy Stew on,
Yeah,
but he can be. You can because I can get rid of you
yeah,
like that, and I can bring you back like
yeah.
that. We'll have Indy Stew in the background,
As
and
the
if there's anything
referee.
that's controversial, like he said, you could be the Peter Walton. We'll go. Oh, we're going to go to Indy Stew for that. We can bring him on just to explain, and just to give his opinion on.
That's a foul. That's a clear
That's a
foul.
proper foul.
Boom.
That there is a prop. That's an old-fashioned foul.
That's
That's
a
what
proper
fouls
foul.
used to be.
Exactly. He had every right to go down there.
He doesn't look happy, does he?
He's pretty hungry, bless him. It looks like
he's not happy because he's been substituted before he gets sent off. He's already on a yellow and he's getting feisty.
He doesn't look happy. Bless him.
He doesn't. He needs a little alone time in the dressing room. That's why they took him off.
So yeah, I agree with that. Next time we do a watch along, we should definitely get Indy Stew on as the
100%. Yeah, that's what we're going to do next time. Next watch along we do. And next time there's an England game on a Wednesday night, we'll get Indy Stew in the background, because Stu, if you want, as you're watching, you can watch it and you can be kind of backstage sort of thing. So you'll see everything that we see, and then just like I can get rid of Baz like that and bring him back. I can bring you can be watching the whole thing. We'll go to our referee correspondent in the Stu, and we'll see what he thought of
that. The best thing is if he disagrees with what we're saying, you can just pie him off.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone disagrees with me, I can get rid of him off here.
No, but with the pie, bring the pie back.
Oh, I've got it somewhere. It won't hit anyone, but have I got it? Hey, there we go. Hey.
I didn't realise you kept it on there, is it?
Oh yeah, it's still in
a background app.
Still in the bank.
So how do we feel about this being moving on to the World Cup? So this is the World Cup being played where?
The World Cup is going to be in Qatar in December next year.
Is that the 50-degree World Cup that everyone was talking about?
Well, that's why it's going to be in November, December.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Jordan Pickford is a phenomenal goalkeeper. But there's always the danger of a bit of jiggery pokery with him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's all right.
Oh. See that face as well? He went, ooh.
I'm going to be refereeing my highest level of football ever next month. In Qatar? 40-degree heat. Yeah, it's 10 degrees less than they were talking about. It's going to be that. Is this where they started introducing the drinks breaks as well because of that?
Yeah, it's not going to be 40 degrees in Qatar in November, December.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. Oh, look at that as a bit of skill.
Nice.
That's lovely. Oh, they're playing now. Look at them. Bit of freedom. 1-0 up.
That's it.
So you should be playing, isn't it? Should be knocking the ball around.
Phillips needs to learn how to pass the ball forwards, though, to be fair.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That was a David Batty pass, wasn't it? He's the only man who didn't understand which forward meant like anybody forward of him.
Industry says no booze. I think there will probably be a hiatus on the rule of no booze within the just like Dubai. Just like Dubai is technically the Emirates is technically a dry state.
Yeah.
Resorts and hotels allow alcohol sales. It'll be the same thing in Qatar.
Isn't it funny? I think you agree with this. So the game is suddenly a different game because we're 1-0 up.
Well, I mean, it was cagey with that's offside, surely. It was a cagey enough first half.
Yeah.
A couple of chances and things like that, but sometimes not wanting to slip into hyperbole and stereotypes, and cliches. Sometimes a goal completely changes a game because England can pass with a bit of freedom. Poland.
See, See what I mean about the
Poland have got to come out now, and that'll create more chances for us. There'll be a bit more space behind them, and so on. So I do remember USA '94. I remember England not being there. But,
have we? Have we? I don't think we've made any substitutions yet. Have we? Have we made substitutions?
I don't think so.
No, that's interesting, isn't it?
I don't remember any, but
Poland have made one, but I don't think we have, which is quite interesting.
I'm just trying to think whether starting 11 is no. Well, I can't remember a game where you've got 84 minutes in without a sub.
This is a bit like the Chris Kamara moment. What, he's been sent off?
Yeah, exactly. I thought he'd go off. I thought they were bringing on a sub. Yeah, you're right, Baz. That's a very good observation. I don't think he's made a sub in 84 minutes.
Which is a good statement. You know, a good statement about the side, isn't it? Obviously, we're still playing. We don't need to change tactics. We just keep doing what we're doing.
And to be fair, they it's one of the reasons that we changed one of the reasons we played a completely different 11 players in the previous game, that we could get away with it because we were playing
Who we got next and when?
Oi! How's that not a foul?
It's bizarre, isn't it? Shoved off the ball without you even being on the ball.
This ball possession, 64% England. This is brilliant.
Away
from home.
So do you know why the decision was made not to have any away fans?
I think it was probably the Polish COVID regulations.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I think it's probably the same. England home games, they don't allow away fans, or it would certainly. I think it was if it was England Poland in Wembley, you could certainly have away fans because you could just prove. You can prove that you lived in this country and you've had both vaccines, you'd be in.
Yeah, there'd probably be 20,000 Polish fans in Wembley, wouldn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting just to briefly talk COVID, but it's interesting how shirty a lot of the public and media have got about proving that you've either had both vaccines or recovered from it to go and do things in the UK. Versus Ireland. Here, if you wanna eat in a restaurant or drink in a pub or anything like that, you've got to show your certificate that shows you've either had both vaccinations or you've recovered.
Oh, what, your little handwritten card?
No. There's an EU thing. There's an EU like with a QR code on it and everything. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. I've got a handwritten card.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got to prove it, and no one seems that bothered, to be honest. No one's getting get up in arms about it over here. It's just kind of, but we're still the magic date, which was June the something or July the something in England, is October the 22nd in Ireland.
Just checking on the dates. So the next England game is the October the 9th, which is a Saturday, and still be in Gran Canaria. Well, we're not doing a podcast on that day anyway.
Yeah.
Although I am going to dinner that night. I've just checked with some friends.
So that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Poland have made 5 substitutions. We haven't made 1. Because I'm looking around and I can't see.
It must be the first time ever.
Do you know what? If we go this whole game without making a sub, I'd suggest it's the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
A competitive game has gone, because I mean, why would you not? That's weird.
Well, I'm guessing though, so if the players aren't really if you don't need to make anything tactically or that you're chasing the game, and our players still look strong, don't they? No one looks outpaced here.
They do, but you would normally make some changes round about the 60-minute mark just to get fresh players on and things like that. It's just
but surely as well, if the shape they're playing is good, no one's being outpaced, for any reason, and they're not. Which that just proves. But then the pace of the game hasn't been that hot, has it?
Yeah, but look, to be fair, I reckon there'll be I reckon every Premier League manager will be watching this, losing their shit that none of these players have been taken off.
Yeah, but maybe, like no one's showing any signs of wear and tear.
No, I know, but they've got to go back and play with the teams now.
Yeah, they don't care. Who cares?
No, but he's got the opportunity to play to make 5 substitutions. He's not made it.
Yeah,
I reckon this is unprecedented.
I like it though. Yeah, like you say, with 64% of the possession, and it doesn't even look like there's any reason for that other than the fact that they've just actually retained the ball.
Hey! He sat down for a minute. Oh, that'll do. Push out. Go on, pressure him.
So officially, there's supposed to be 30 seconds per substitution. So there should only be 2 minutes on this, I reckon.
Well, there was a big delay while that guy and Kane and Glick were down, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't care about him. He should have been sent off for that. He's idiot.
Well, he effectively did. He got substituted pretty soon after.
Oh, actually, that's interesting. Andy Stewart's just put we need a fit Kane against Palace. So you must be a fellow Spurs supporter.
Oh, hold on. 4 minutes.
Well, yeah, I suppose if they made 4 substitutions, no, that'd have to be 8 substitutions, wouldn't it? Andy Stew, tell me about this. I thought it was 30 seconds per substitution. Oh, yeah, but maybe he was lying down for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, well, Harry Kane and Glick were both down for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So I used to play an online sort of gambling game, which was you picked 4 players for, I think it was 5 minutes of the game, and then you got points.
Oh, hold on. Whoa! I don't like it. No!
Oh no!
That was coming.
That's awful.
Do you know why that happened?
We sat back, didn't we?
Southgate hasn't made any substitutions. No, that's been coming for the last couple of minutes, though.
Yeah. It's just loads of pressure. Yeah. If you sit that deep, they're going to score, aren't they?
Yeah, but to be fair, points good enough for us.
Yeah, but there's no need for it, is there? There's no need to keep sitting that deep on the 90th minute as well.
I was knackered because they haven't been subbed.
It's an interesting point, though, isn't it?
No, there you go.
Yeah. And it's a good ball in as well.
Oh, there's neither of our centre backs going up. The centre backs should be dealing with that.
Yeah.
You've got.
It's because they're tired, isn't it?
Well, your centre back should be dealing with that. Centre back should be dealing with that cross. Luke Shaw's had to come off his man and come into the middle because neither of the centre backs have committed to going for that one.
I do like that. It highlights that you have these the cameramen that they're literally looking at the crowd at some beautiful woman. She just when they score that she just happens to jump up the moment his camera's on her.
Exactly.
Oh well, that's flattened it a bit, hasn't it? Oh, he's torn his shirt.
We've got a delay over in this Stu. Maybe that's because I'm watching it on Sky, but
he's torn his shirt while ripping off his celebrations. He's also wearing some kind of undervest.
That's bad defending that. Defending. The centre back should have been coming out for that. You've had Luke Shaw's had to come off his man. You watch the replay of that again. Luke Shaw's had to leave his man unmarked to come inside because the other two haven't dealt with it. Yeah,
but also if you allow them to come on like that, they're there in numbers in the 18-yard area, aren't they?
Not wanting to not wanting to bang on again about the fact that we've got a very defensive manager. We've again tried to sit on a 1-0 lead.
But it's quite typical. I like that old adage: if you scored, if they score 9 and you score 10, you still won, haven't you?
Exactly. No, you've got I don't know.
No, well, hey, listen, I've enjoyed myself. Had a lovely evening.
Yeah.
I have to notice that there are very few women left in our comments.
There's this very people. The very few people left watching. To be fair, I don't think the people who watch our podcast are feeling the watch-alongs as much as we do.
Hey, it's been great. Is that time now?
It is. That's it. That's the final whistle.
Well, that was an interesting, wasn't it?
Well, we've been. There's no point doing too much post-match analysis on that. Job done. We got a point out of that game. The most important thing from that was not to lose. Because Poland could have caught us. I mean, we're still 5 points clear or something like that. So
yeah,
it's not the end of the world. It's crap to give away a goal like that towards the end, but there you go. 60-odd% possession the whole way through, ended up 1-1. But we could 7 points in those 3 games is good. Absolutely right. Yeah, but 2 minutes away from 9. So right, guys. So thanks again for joining us on a watch along. We're going to leave it there. We'll see you again next week. But next week's going to be completely different. What we're going to do next week, we've got Alex Lovell's coming on, and we've got a special guest. So it's back to normal. Normal service is resumed next week. So thanks for being on.
Actually, it's not normal. It's very abnormal service next week.
Sorry. I mean, normal content. So
on this half of the screen, there will be a beautiful woman who's more insightful than most things. So, see you later, John and Indy Stew, and if Keith is still here, and anybody else. So, thanks for watching with us.
Huxley's there. Thanks, guys. Cheers. We'll see you next time.